Hi guys, and welcome back to another Tech Tutor Thursday video. Today we are going to be talking about resources for readers. So we are going to be going over how to use resources such as fantastic fiction, KDL What's Next, and Goodreads. These tools will let you keep track of books you've already read, books you want to read, search for book series and get printable lists, find your next book to read, and more. So let's get started. Okay, so the first resource that we are going to be going over today is Goodreads. Goodreads lets you search for books, authors, and series. You can create bookshelves to keep track of the books you have read, books you want to read, books you loved, etc. So this is a really helpful resource to use if you are a reader. So we are starting on the homepage here at goodreads.com. I do really recommend using the Goodreads app on your smartphone or tablet, and this could be especially useful if you like to read ebooks or listen to audiobooks. I am going to be demonstrating on the desktop version, but they work pretty similarly, so there shouldn't be too many differences. You don't need to make an account to take advantage of the ability to search or browse books, but I do really recommend making an account, especially if you are a frequent reader. From the homepage, without an account, we can search for books or authors right here. We can browse books by genre right here. Below that, we can view quotes by category over here. And then at the bottom, we have the Goodreads Choice Awards. So we can browse the best books by genre down here at the very bottom of the page. If you don't have an account and you would like to create one, you can just come back up the page here, and all you need to do is enter your name, email address, and password, and then click sign up. And then over here to the right of that, we do have the terms of service, and it does say that we need to be at least 13 years old to create an account with Goodreads. If you already have an account, you can sign in up here at the top of the page. So this is what it looks like when you have signed in. To the left here, we can see what we are currently reading. I don't have anything listed here at the moment. Below that, we have news and interviews, and then below that, we have our 2020 reading challenge, where we can create a reading goal and then keep track of how many books we have read throughout the year to meet that goal. Below that, we have our want to read list, and then underneath that, we have our bookshelves. On Goodreads, you can also add friends, so you can see what other people are reading. So once you add friends or join book clubs, you would see updates here in the middle of the page. At the top of the page, we have the home button, which just brings us back to this page that we are currently on. Next to that, we have the link to My Books. So this is where you would come to view the books saved to your bookshelves. So I'm going to click here. And then, as we can see, we can view our different bookshelves over here. We could add bookshelves. We can see our reading activity. We can add books, and we can also see recommendations. So if we come back up to the top and go to Browse, we can browse books by a number of different ways. So first, we see the option to choose our favorite genres. So it will prompt you to do this first thing when you create your Goodreads account. So right now this profile is lacking because it is brand new, but once you start adding books to your shelves, choosing genres, etc., you start to see recommendations based on what you have read and what you like. So I'm going to go ahead and click choose favorite genres here. And then we get this little box where you can select your favorite genres and save that information to your profile. So let's say I like fiction, I like thrillers, mystery, and historical fiction, and then I'll just click save. Then after that, Goodreads will be better able to recommend books to you based on the genres that you like. Next, if we come back to browse, we have recommendations. So again, this account is brand new, so nothing's going to pop up here. But it does tell us that after you've read and rated at least 20 books on Goodreads, you will get Goodreads recommendations. If we come back up to browse, here we have the Choice Awards, as I pointed out, I think one other time. So if we click on that link, that takes us to the Goodreads Choice Awards. So these are the best books of 2019 as voted on by Goodreads users, and these are by genre. So this is another good place to go to explore books. You can see previous years over here. You can see the best books of various genres, so on and so forth. So that is pretty helpful as well. Back up at the top under Browse, we also have giveaways. So Goodreads frequently does book giveaways that you can enter. I'm not going to get into that today. Below that, we have new releases right here. So if we click on that link, we can see new releases by genre. So that's pretty helpful as well. Finally, if we come back up to the top again to browse, we have lists right here. So if we click on this link, that will take us to different lists of books. So at the top here, we have featured lists. If we scroll down, we have lists with recent activity. We have popular lists. Down here on the right-hand side, we have brand new lists. If we come up a bit, we can browse by tag. So these are mostly going to be genre related. So that is also another way to browse books by genre, by checking out these lists and seeing what people have added to the lists. Above that, we have best of lists. And then we could also search for lists. So if there's a specific book you really like and you would like to see a list of books similar to that, you could come here and search for that. If there's a genre you're not seeing under the tags there, you could search that way as well. A lot of options here. Finally, if we come to the top right-hand side of the page, first we have notifications right here. Here we have the discussions page. So once you create an account, you can join book clubs and see discussions here under My Group Discussions. We have our Goodreads inbox, because Goodreads is essentially a social media site as well, where you can add friends and chat with them and stuff like that. Next to that, we have our friends list right here. And then finally, we can view our profile, our settings, our favorite genres, all that sort of stuff right here. So there is a good bit to explore on Goodreads, so I do encourage you to explore on your own, whether that be on the desktop or by downloading the app. But that was an overview of the types of things we can do on Goodreads. So next we are going to check out fantastic fiction. So next we are going to go over fantastic fiction. So we are going to head to fantasticfiction.com to get started. This is what the homepage will look like. So fantastic fiction allows us to search and browse authors' bibliographies, view bestseller lists from a variety of genres, and keep up with newly released books and authors. So this is a really good place to come search for authors if you really enjoyed a particular book and you want to see if it is part of a series or what other books that author has published. Just like with Goodreads, you can also create an account with Fantastic Fiction, which allows you to follow authors, track books that you have read, and create lists of books you would like to read. So first we are going to go over our options on the home page here, and I'm going to start at the navigation bar at the top of the page right here. So first we have this link to view books by new authors. So if we click the link, we have a list of books, and I am not signed in, I don't have an account, but if you had an account, you could see the list of books by new authors. You could add them to your wish list, or you could add them to My Books. Beyond that, we see the title of the book, the series name, if that is applicable. We see the author's name, the release date, as well as the genre. If we come back up to the top of the page, next we can click on New Books. So again, we have a list of new books. We have the title, the genre, author, and series, if that's an option. And then again, we could add it to our lists. Next, at the top of the page, we have Coming Soon. So this is where we can come to see what books are going to be releasing soon, as well as the release date. Next, we have Most Popular. So we can come here to view most popular books, and at the top we can filter by format. We can filter by genre, so that is very helpful. And we could also filter by release date. So this is an especially helpful tool if you want to view popular books in a particular genre. And finally, we have top authors here at the right-hand side of this navigation bar. So here we have a list of popular authors, and again, we can filter this by genre. But as we can see, there's quite a few here. If we were to click on their names, we would be taken to their page where we could see their books, their series, and all that good stuff. So now I'm going to head back to the home page and point a few more things out here. If we scroll down the home page some more, we can view best-selling fiction books. Again, we can filter by format. If we come to the right here, we can view the Coming Soon section. So these are books that will be releasing soon based on release date. And at the bottom, we have options to view books by awards lists, different countries, and then also different years. Below that, we can browse authors, and we have this A to Z list here. And then below that, we have genre pages. So those are all good ways to browse books. The last thing that I'm going to demonstrate is how to search. So if we come back up to the top of the page, and we come up to this search bar, the first thing we want to look at is this drop-down menu. So this is important, and it will depend on what you want to search for. So if you were searching for a book's title, you would select book. If you wanted to search for an author, you would leave it there at author. And then you could also choose series and then type in a series name. So I'm going to leave it set to author, and I'm going to type in James Patterson. And as I start to type, we have some options that come up below, so I'm going to click on the top one here for James Patterson. So then we are taken to this page, like I just said, where we see information about him. We have the option to follow him. Again, if we had an account and we were signed in, we can see the genres he writes in. Below that, we can see his new books, the title, the series, as well as the month it was released. If we keep scrolling, we have different collections. We have series here, so we can see the Alex Cross series, and we can see the books that go along in that series, as well as the year it was published. So he has quite a lot of books. So we have quite a few series here. If we get all the way down to the bottom, we have different collections. So we have his novellas, we have series he's contributed to, so on and so forth. I am going to head back up to the top of the page, and I'm going to select one of his newly released books here. So once we click on an individual book, we can see options to purchase the book here. We can buy from Amazon, find this book on Amazon. We can scroll down and read the summary about the book. We can add it to our wish list, add it to our books. We see the genre that it belongs to, and then we can also see similar books by other authors. So overall, Fantastic Fiction is an awesome resource for searching for books, authors, and series, finding lists of completed works and books similar to books you have read and liked. But next, we are going to go over KDL What's Next. Okay, so now we are moving on to our final resource for this video, which is KDL What's Next. So this resource can be accessed from the library's website or by going directly to the website. If you wanted to access it from the library's website, you would head to cplwcho.org, go to Find Information and down to Premium Research Databases, and then you would scroll down until you find KDL What's Next and click Use this resource. Otherwise, you could head straight to the KDL What's Next website by typing in their web address, which I will pop up on the screen here. Once you are on the website, this is what the home page looks like. So KDL What's Next is used to find printable lists of book series. So the first thing we would need to do is scroll down just a little bit so we can see the entire search form. In the search form, we have options to enter the author's last name, author first name, series name, book title. We could choose a category here, adult or youth, and then we could also choose a genre. So you can fill out as much or as little as you know. The more information you know and are able to enter usually means you won't have to sift through as many search results. I am just going to search for James Patterson here. So here we actually have quite a few results, but if I scroll down a bit, I see what we are looking for right here. So it really depends on what you are looking for. If you are looking for a book in a series, entering the author's name and the series name would yield more specific results. But entering the author's name alone allows us to see all of their different series. So if I click on this little plus symbol to the left of the author's name, that brings up this little menu of his various book series. And then if I wanted to see the list of books in that series, I would just come over here and again, click on the plus symbol to the left of the series name. And then that shows us this list of books in this series in order. To the right here, we do have a printer-friendly book list option. So if I click on that, that brings us to this page, which is printable. And again, it has the series name as well as the books in the series and the author, and everything is in order. So that is really helpful. So this resource is an excellent tool for finding printable series lists, and I would recommend that if you are a fan of reading on series. So that wraps up this week's video about resources for readers. I hope you enjoyed this or found it helpful. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me by email, at my drop-in hours at the library, or by appointment. Thanks for tuning in.